Are you using the best possible catfish hook to catch catfish with? Let's talk about that right now. Now, before I get deep into this subject, yes, any hook will catch a catfish. You can take a pop top from a can of cola and use that as a hook. However, what I consider the best designed hook will catch more catfish than that soda can pop top. I'm also not going to promote any single brand of hook. Multiple brands actually have hooks that are designed like this already. So you have multiple choices. In fact, I'll give one. Bass Pro Shops changed one of their catfish hooks to this design. So if a bass fishing, company knows what I'm talking about and changes to, the best design, then, it's got to mean something. Now, I will talk about second place first. And my cat wants to be part of the video, as usual. But I'm going to talk about what I consider second place first, and it's a kale hook. Now, this is an elongated hook that is really good at drifting chicken below a dam. It's really, really specific, but it seems to hook more fish, more catfish, when you're using chicken in a boat drifting below a dam. So if you have, the hook that I'm going to tell you about, at least a design, have a few kale hooks as well, just in case you end up using chicken below a dam. Yeah. Now, when I was younger, I actually, like most everyone else, started off with J hooks. And, they're just a perfect J. And a lot of times you gut hook the fish, or, you have to actually set the hook with a J hook. And I converted over from J hooks to circle hooks. Circle hooks give you an option. You can either keep the fish or release it. If you're using J hooks, you're most likely going to have to either keep the fish or, leave it gut hooked. So it's better to use a circle hook if you're intending on releasing the fish. Now, a traditional circle hook is completely round, and the hook design that I'm going to show you is a version of a circle hook, but let me show you this one. This is a traditional circle hook. When I started using circle hooks, obviously I was catching blue catfish and channel catfish and hooking them in the corner of the mouths. It worked pretty good. However, I did miss a lot of fish. I had lots of really good takedowns that didn't get hooked up, and I rarely caught flathead catfish. And if I did catch a flathead catfish, it would be hooked like at the top of the mouth. It would be gut hooked. It would not be hooked properly at all. And I literally jumped from using traditional circle hooks to this good design. But for this video, I'm going to show you like the one step towards the better design. And it's that design, but with a bent eye, like this hook. It's kind of similar to this one that I'm picturing. I'm not picturing the exact hook, but this is almost like what it is with a bent eye. Now, there is issues with having a bent eye hook like that. And let me show you. Here's a picture of a bent eye hook that's getting set. And notice which way the point of the hook is going. It is basically unhooking from the fish. Now, this is an example with a polymer knot. So if you have a polymer knot on this type of, circle hook, it turns it into an unhooker hook. So you cannot use a polymer knot. Now, let me show you a picture of one that is snelled. Now, when it's snelled, you can see the hook is going the same direction as the fishing line. So it is more capable of actually hooking the fish. Now, I did try these before. Like I said, I switched to the best possible design early on. And then I tried the ones that have the bent eyes. And what I noticed was, yes, I was catching fish. I was catching more fish than with a traditional circle hook. However, whenever I was catching fish, they were getting skin hooked. Like it would just barely hook the fish. And I'm quite sure that I have missed fish where it would have skin hooked them and then they got off before I was able to like reel it in or whatever. So, the bent eye hooks, skin hooking fish, I'm still missing fish. I was catching more flatheads than I would with a traditional circle hook, which is a good thing, but that style hook does have its drawbacks. Now, let me go ahead and show you the good design. And this good design, I'm going to show you snelled. Now, here is the good design with a snell. It's got that long shank, but it is a circle hook, and it's got a straight eye. And as you can see, when the hook is pulled in the direction of the line with the straight eye, it creates a trigger action. Basically, as you can see in the picture, it's wanting to hook into whatever is there. It hooks fish better, especially if you have the snell. The snell puts the line on top of the eye. And I will say this, a bent eye will have a bigger unhooker action with a polymer knot than a snelled straight eye hook like this one. It's not huge, but it is enough to give you a 1% more or 5% more advantage. Now, another advantage of the, this hook design is you can use a polymer knot. When you're using a polymer knot on it, like on this picture, when when the hook is pulled towards the line, it does the same action as the bent eye hook that's snelled. So it's still usable if you just want to do a quick polymer knot. It works better with a snell. Now let me get you a picture here with no arrows of, the good designed hook right there. That is the hook. That is what I, it is an opinion, but there is some, factual data to back up my opinion when it's snelled. And you can tell it yourself. You have one of these hooks, and if you have it on a snell, just pull it just a little bit, and you will see the tip of your hook is trying to hook into whatever's there. And when I converted to this type of hook, I caught flatheads galore. I caught a lot more flatheads. I had fewer fish missed. Even the small ones, I was catching the small ones. A small fish cannot, a little bitty one is not going to fit that hook in their mouth. However, an 8/0 or even a 10/0 of that type of hook, snelled, is capable of catching a half-pound, catfish. Blue catfish, channel catfish. I've seen it happen. I've done it before myself. It's better to use smaller hooks whenever you're going for smaller catfish. But, sometimes those bait stealers end up getting themselves hooked with these bigger hooks. Now, they do make smaller hooks like that. If it's I use 1/0 hooks with catfish bait, with fake or package bait, like the Team Catfish fiber nuggets. I use a 1/0 hook with that. I use that with the Blue River carp bait. And I mean, I still have a 10% discount for Blue River carp bait. So I think it's just, you have to look up their website, but Billy 10 will give you 10% off their bait. It's a good bait to keep just in case you can't get like fresh bait or something else. But with that bait, I cut it up in small pieces, put it on a 1/0, catch bullheads, catch eater size channels, eater size um, blue catfish. And then you can go even smaller if, and there's cat hair flying everywhere now. Now, you can go even smaller. A size 4 hook that's just like that hook is awesome for bluegill. You can catch bluegill with that. Now, bluegill are still notorious for swallowing a hook. And I've actually found, by experience and by people telling me, using a jig head with a worm is actually better because they won't swallow it as easy as like a circle hook. That's one case scenario where it doesn't work. It's also like carp. Carp are better with a J hook because they have a different type of mouth. So you use small J hooks for carp instead of circle hooks. Although I've heard of people catching them with circle hooks. It is possible. It's better to use a J hook in that situation. But for catfish, this is the primo hook. And there's multiple brands out there now. A few of the brands are actually a main company, and then these are just that main company's rebranded. That company's hooks that are rebranded. But there are others that don't go to this main company to get their hooks that are similar to this. Probably like Bass Pro Shops. And Bass Pro Shops hooks, I don't know. They're kind of newer, and I bought some myself and I haven't used them yet, so I don't know how good they are. If you have used the Bass Pro Shops ones, sure, leave a comment below. They're probably the cheaper ones out of all of them. And oh yeah, here I am promoting them, but I'm not affiliated with Bass Pro Shops at all. I'm actually am affiliated with a specific hook manufacturer, kind of, sorta. And like I said, this video I'm not going to promote anything other than design, just because this design is what you want to use to win tournaments. And I'll give you an example. Years and years ago, I went on a tournament. It was 3 of us. I was just a ride-along. I didn't film it. I wasn't allowed to film it. And I wished I had, because it would have been hilarious to film, because my buddy had invited another guy who brought his catfish gear, and I just was a ride along just because I wanted to be, check out the tournament and stuff. And he was using J hooks, and he was bank fishing on the boat. So he had, let me find a pen here. He had his rods out like that. Instead of, the normal in the rod holder, he had them like that, and had the bait runners on. So the fish would grab the bait, and you hear the go on. He would grab the rod and set the hook like Mike Iaconelli. I lost count of how many times he almost fell out of the boat, fell over the big bait tank that we had, fell in the floor. It was a whiff-a-thon. We missed probably 30 fish at one spot. That spot, we were able to hook two 30-pound blues. I guarantee you there were bigger fish that we lost because he was using J hooks. He was trying to set the hook like Mike Iaconelli and failing to do so. We moved around to a few other spots. Same thing. Whiff-a-thon. Miss fish. We could not get any kickers. If we would have got kickers, we would have got a check. Or at least they would have got a check. I wouldn't have got a check. They would have got a check if we had kickers. But we didn't even get kickers. We ended up in 10th place with those 2 fish. Now, I did talk to him about the type of hooks that I use and how I fish with them. And he went out with his boat weeks later. He got the circle hooks like that, like, what I've been showing you guys. And he won the tournament with the circle hooks. It goes to show this is a good design. Now, I will say briefly how to actually use these, because I'm just, showing you designs right now without telling you how to actually use a circle hook. So what I tell my clients is I put the rod in the rod holder. I throw out the line, put the rod in the rod holder. You really don't have to keep it tight. There's been times where I've had slack line because the boat's just moving everywhere. That's perfectly fine. What you need to do is just let the fish pick it up and then take off. Once they realize something's wrong, they swim away, the rod bends down, and the hook sets itself. And I got a big fur ball in the way. So let the fish set the hook themselves. Now, there are times where it's just going dunk, 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 dunk. My biggest flathead this year, the rod moved like that. It did that. 46-pound flathead. My client had to reel down to set the hook. So you leave the rod and reel in the rod holder. You see, oh, there's something there, but they're not really moving. And you keep it in the rod holder and you reel really fast. That's how you set a circle hook. Now, these are a little bit more forgiving. You could take it out, make the line, and make sure it's tight, and do a sweeping hook set as well. And that will set the hook. Now, I've noticed if you do that, sometimes it does skin hook them. It's better to just leave it in a rod holder and reel down. Now, if you've watched my channel and been subscribed to me for a while, you've seen where I've actually set circle hooks. I've done it before, and I've reeled in a fish while doing it. And I get called out for it all the time. They're like, why are you setting a circle hook? Well, it's this type. This type of circle hook means you can set it to a certain degree. You can't Mike Iaconelli set it. You can't, smash set it like you're using a J hook. It's got to be a slower hook set. And some of my hook sets have been a little bit faster than slow. They're very, very forgiving. But like I said, leave it in a rod holder, reel down on it. That can be harder to do if you're bank fishing. You would need like a smackdown rod holder's bank rod holder. It's got a big old, pipe or, big old bar. You can put it into the bank and you can have like 3 fishing rods on the thing. I have a discount code now for smackdown rod holders as well. And that discount code is also Billy10. Now, I have a few other discounts. If you go to my website, tnrvg.com, I have a discounts page there, and you can see the other discounts I have. Back to the hooks, it is what it is. I don't think we can innovate anymore with the hook. I mean, I think this is like the in-game hook. Unless, they come up with some kind of laser hook or something that is made of light or something futuristic, this is the hook. And, years from now, what I'm saying in this video or this podcast or this video podcast or whatever you want to call it is probably still going to be true. So please, if you can, share this with other people. I don't mind giving away tournament winning secrets like this. It's still possible to catch a 100-pounder or win tournaments with other style hooks too, but this is a better chance, a better hook. Now, I am all ears. Leave a comment below of what you think, about this style of hook. They are definitely, I've had people actually tell me, it's like, wow, thank you for telling me about these type of hooks, because now I'm catching more fish. Because I was using X hook, now I'm using your hook, and I'm catching more fish now. So it's cool to hear people say that. And if you do try this hook and use the methods that I just told you on how to, get it to actually work right, leave a comment below. Let me know that, hey, it works. Thank you for letting me know. Now, as always, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to actually watch this video or listen to the podcast. I really, really, really appreciate it. And definitely be ready for more video or audio podcasts like this in the future. I intend on continuing this on. However, I will also be fishing eventually. Summertime heat definitely makes me try to do different things than actual fishing. And I really do hope you guys learned something from this, or this was valuable to you. If it was, hit that thumbs up. Thanks again for watching and listening. Hope to see you next time.